if you can believe it, it's already time for the first update of our homeschool year. I like to do these about every other month or so. Ideally, I would do them more often, but realistically, that doesn't happen with me. So, update number 1. Overall, our first part of the year has gone remarkably well. We had a bit of a bumpy summer, COVID summer, and I started a second job, and just this and that. Lots of schedule changes this year. So I was really nervous about going into the year. But overall, I really cannot complain. It probably helps that we're not as busy this fall as we usually are because, again, COVID. But we're busy enough that it feels easily manageable. I'm not overwhelmed. I am not wishing for the weekend, that kind of thing. So we're at a good balance right now. A couple big changes for the school year was that my daughter started dual enrollment at the community college. So that she goes twice a week. She's taking pre-calculus and speech, public speaking. So those are going really well. But it does take up a good chunk of our week with the drive. In North Carolina, you have to have your permit for a full year before you can have your driver's license. So this school year, we have to take her, or I have to take her. So that's been a big chunk. But she's doing well. She's enjoying it. It's good to see that next step in the homeschool journey and that I've done a well enough job to get her there. Before I go any further in our update, I did want to mention that I have a handout that I use personally and I've shared before. That's questions that I ask at different points in the first semester of our school year to really evaluate how it's going. Now that first set of questions is kind of somewhere around the 2 to 4 week mark, which is you're probably past that, but it's still a great time if you wanted to grab this, start there, and then just space it out from there. I do like 2 to 4 weeks-ish, and then 6 to 8 weeks in, and then 10 to 12 weeks in. So it's just kind of a pacing to spread out and really evaluate how things are going so you can make changes as you go instead of waiting until winter, which is, a lot of people will make changes over December or before they start spring semester. So if you're interested in that, I don't know if I have a video about it. If I do, I'll link the video. Otherwise, I'll just link directly to the handout down there. We've also instituted kind of a morning basket-ish type of thing. I have tried before here and there, and I just never really loved them because I was trying to do them like other people do them. And this year I wanted to do something like it with my boys, but I had to do it in a way that works for us. So we have, first one we did was themed around Ellis Island, and I'm going to have a video coming out, I don't know when, honestly, hopefully soon on it, but I need to move some things around, make sure that I have it when I have it ready to give you and tell you actually what we did. This week we are finishing a really short one about Fat Bear Week from Katmai National Park, and I talked about that in a video last week. You can grab the lesson plan, basically, a little mini unit study, whatever you want to call it, for free. So I'll link that video. And that's going well. Boys are enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. We started school earlier this year, in part to accommodate schedule changes, but also to accommodate, to add in something like this. And we're enjoying it well. It's been a good way to start our days, a nice slow way versus jumping straight into more academic work. For Matthew, I wanted to slow him. He's my youngest, if you don't know. He's 5th grade. And I wanted to slow him down in his math just a wee bit. I I felt like last year we used Beast Academy for him, and I felt like he was always almost just above his level. So this year, to start out with, I wanted to, before we jump into Beast, I want to slow him down a little bit, do some review work, and let his mind kind of catch up so that when we jump back into Beast, he's ready to take off with it. I think he is ready for 4D, the last book in level 4 of Beast. So starting probably in November, we will do that. In the meantime, we've been using M.E.P, which is, I don't know what it stands for, but it's a free math out of England. And I really like it. We have been using it more as a review, so we're not doing every problem and such. But it's just been a good kind of a placeholder review type of program for him. I will link that down there as well. So that's been going well for him. He's also really enjoying Lingobus continuing, which is the online Chinese that we use. It's a live one-on-one class. I have a video about it as well. He loves it, and it's amazing to me. We just added Duolingo to go with it, and I was having him take some of the placeholder tests to see what he knew, and I was blown away by what he could come up with. It's just amazing to me how much he's learned, and he's been taking classes since a little over a year. Ben is finishing up Beast 5 this semester. That's the goal. And then in January, my hope is that we will start pre-algebra, and then just a semester of it. We'll do a condensed version of it because Beast 5 really should cover a lot of pre-algebra, but since it's such a different kind of program, I want to have him do a more traditional one before he moves into algebra next year, which our plan is that he'll outsource it to the same class that Elizabeth did, which again, I have a video on that too. I've got a lot of videos to go along with today's update apparently. He's also taking writing at our co-op. I should have said Ben is in 7th grade. He's taking writing at our co-op, which is going to be a big test for him because he verbally he has ridiculous levels of like stories, but writing it down, he's always struggled with that more. And so this year my goal for him for 7th grade was just to be able to come away with a really strong 1 paragraph. Because once you have the 1 paragraph, it's a lot easier to make it into a 3-paragraph, 5-paragraph papers. So that was our goal this year, was just 1 strong paragraph. If you don't know, my daughter is, she just turned 16 last week, and she's a junior. So this fall we've started getting more serious about college searching. She's preparing more for ACT tests. She'll take them in December. Last year we bought the big, thick ACT prep test, and we would start just here, do 2 questions. And then we moved up to do a full page each day type of thing. And then on Friday, she would do a longer chunk. This fall, we're moving more and more so it's longer because, as a homeschool student, she's never had to sit for a big, long standardized test before. So it's going to be a big change. And she's at the age where she could do it, but training her brain to stay strong throughout it is going to be a big challenge for her. So that's what we're kind of working through in the fall for that. One thing that I've been really impressed with for her schooling this fall is that she has really done an amazing job staying on top of how much, what she needs to do and when she needs to do it and all of that. When she was starting in middle school, I started giving her a little more control over her work. like planning it out. Not because I was trying to like control it, but to develop that skill of learning how to pace things out. And then when she was in her freshman year, I had to help her some. By that point, she had a good sense of pacing and how to pace or how to plan things out. And now she hasn't needed me to help her with any of that at all, which part of that is personality, but I think part of it was definitely that we built up that skill. So there's our first update for the school year. Check out the down bar for the other videos I mentioned, and I will see you in the next video.